All right, good morning, everyone. This is a midweek market outlook, and our goal here is to basically look into the market, look at what has happened during the course of Monday, Tuesday, and this morning, and be able to look at what's likely to happen for the rest of the week, right? This week has been quite slow, really slow, and usually and whenever there's a previous week was very volatile, whenever a previous week was very volatile, huge volatility for the previous week, the incoming week, the new week is usually slow, right? That's just how the market works, and this is not something to be alarmed about. We can see we had huge swings, huge, massive swings, volatility last week due to a whole lot of fundamental events. We had FOMC, we had NFP, we had JOLTS job openings, we had ADP non-farm payroll last week, we had PMI manufacturing data. We had so many data, unemployment claims, all of these came in last week, right? So with all that volatility that moved the market last week, you won't expect that volatility to continue again this week because this week is a bit slow. It's more like the market takes a break, takes a little break to breathe, and then it kicks off again, right? So the market has been quite slow. On Monday, we did some analysis here, and we expected that price should begin to buy from this area. This is the dollar index, by the way. Okay, we see that after NFP, price dropped from the high of 102, 100.2 all the way to this low of 98.80, and price has been stuck here. We expected to see this buy rally up here and then down. We haven't seen that yet. So market has been very slow this week. Not much has been happening in the market. And you see this is the dollar index. You see that not much. You see the same thing across other instruments. You can see this is Euro USD, not much as well. Okay, so we had a trade here and the trade moved down. We had a sell trade here. The trade price moved down, but it didn't really hit our take profit right there, right? And then it retraced. So far, the trade is still in play. It's still a play just because the market has not moved massively. That's why we've not seen it move the way we want it to go. This is still expected to drop, right? Let's look at GBP USD. You see the same thing in GBP USD. It's just been ranging. There's been nothing significant happening in the market this week, right? Up until now, nothing serious. You can see all this range. Even let's look at gold. You can see all of this happened last week. Gold itself has even been in a range as well. There hasn't been any serious massive move on gold across, right? The same thing has been the same. It has been the same thing for most of the instruments we're watching right here. Most of the instruments we're watching right here has been about the same thing. Not much happening, right? But let's look at what's likely to play out in terms of fundamentals for the rest of the week. So for the rest of the week, tomorrow we're expecting to see some volatility in GBP pairs. We're seeing interest rate data for the UK comes in tomorrow at 12 noon GMT +1. And then we have unemployment claims for the US. And then we have on Friday, we have card employment data, right? So those are the things we're watching for the rest of the week. So you can see we don't have a lot to drive even the dollar index for the rest of the week. So we might not see even massive moves with dollar index, and once we do not see huge volatility, huge swings with dollar index, it's hard to see huge moves and huge swings in other pairs, right? But this GBP interest rate is an important one, and then the Bank of England is expected to cut interest rate from 4.25% to 4.000%. So this is quite important. So this is GBP pairs, GBP USD, GBP AUD, GBP CHF. We're expected GBP JPY. We're expected to see volatility tomorrow across GBP pairs, right? And this does not translate to other pairs, just GBP pairs alone. Okay, so that's what we'll be expecting to see tomorrow. So let's see, what do we have in the market that we could look out The analysis we had on Monday still remains intact. Nothing has really changed. We're still expecting for Euro USD, we're still expecting price to sell from this level here, the 1.1600 level, which is psychological level. We're expecting price to drop from here all the way to around the 1.15 level. Okay, that's about 100 pip. That's about 100 pip move right there. So we're expecting to see that. That hasn't happened yet. You can see price sold a bit, and then price jumped up again. Now we are not seeing any sell yet. We're expecting that price is going to drop from there. That bias remains the same. Nothing has really changed. And then with gold, we've been expecting that price will drop into this level before buying again. Price should drop from here into this level, then buy. Okay. That is also analysis we've seen before, and really nothing has changed at this time. We still expect gold to sell and then sell into this zone, the 3,330 zone, and before we see a rally again. So the outlook on gold remains bullish, but then in the meantime, we expect price to sell into the 3,330 zone, and then we expect to see a rally from there. Okay, let's see what else do we have. Even the USD JPY, you can see USD JPY made crazy moves last week, but this week has just been a range, you know, up and down, up and down, up and down, range, not in those serious movement across markets so far this week. And this is mainly because we saw huge volatility last week, huge swings last week, and there's been no new fundamental event to drive markets this week, right? So of course, when that happens, when we start to see volatility from tomorrow again, like I said, GBP pairs, we won't even see much moves in. We're not likely to see much moves in USD pairs, right? In USD pairs. Mainly tomorrow is going to be GBP pairs. We'll have unemployment claims, one employment data for the US, but it's usually not a very volatile one. But we watch out to see. During times like this, when there is no major news to move the market, unemployment claims might actually come save the day. Okay, but that's something we have to keep an eye on. That's something we'll have to keep an eye on. All right. Tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon. Okay. But for today, we just expect to see price continuing to do what it does. And then there's really nothing to look forward to at this moment in the market. We're going to keep an eye on the market, keep watching. Like we said, we give you those trades in the Telegram group. And that's it for this morning. And there's not much to look at in the market. But tomorrow, with new data coming into the market for GBP pairs, we should be seeing some rally. We should be seeing some movements in the market tomorrow, some volatility in the market tomorrow, and that should give us some opportunities to trade. Okay. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one.